Hello, good evening to you all. Today is our day 68 of this 3-month data analytics bootcamp. Like I said, this bootcamp will last for about 3 months, and today is our day 68. So, like always, we start by showing our outlines. That is what we are to cover for the day. We'll have a recap on what we did yesterday. Today, we are going to talk about DAX. That's what we are going to talk about today. And we'll have a question and answer, conclusion, and call it a day. So what we did on day 67 is that we did a data modeling. I show you how to do it. And yeah, I'm sorry I didn't upload the video. I will do so. But I show you how to connect different tables in Power BI so that they will be connected and you can use them to do a lot of calculations and analysis. So today we are going to talk about DAX. I'm sorry, I'm going to open my uh uh okay, our query works. So let me just open this one. I'm sorry, I'm sharing my screen again. Okay, here we go. This is it. Okay, what is it? We don't have any data. Let me load this one. Okay, so today we are going to talk about DAX. I will explain what DAX is all about and what you can do with DAX and how you are going to start using the DAX. That's what we are going to do or to discuss today. Okay, I don't have any data here, so I have to upload it. Don't worry, when we are starting the practical, I'll upload the data, then we can continue from there. Okay, so DAX, I told you, stands for Data Analysis Expressions, and it's like Excel formula and functions that we use. That's what that DAX is all about in Power BI. So the way we did calculation, that is normal calculation using operators, that's the same way we are going to use that in Power BI. Please take note on this. Most of the functions we use in Excel are here in Power BI. We are going to use the same expression, and that was DAX. There are two ways that you can use DAX in Power BI. One way, as you know, in Excel, of course, we have a way that in Excel, when I want to calculate an entire row, there is a way I can write the formula and just use drag, so that when I drag the formula will apply across all of the to write a formula whereby I'm just extracting a particular value or I'm just aggregating a particular numbers. So I don't need to apply it across all the data that I have or all the rows that I have. For example, I want to get average. I don't need to apply average across all the rows that I have, or maybe I want to get the count A, count all, count what, anything that I want to count and the rest. I don't need to apply them across all the data that I have. I just need to extract it and get the the result that I want. So there are ways that do that also in Power BI. Number one way is using the column or using the new column function or new column way to create such. Why? Why? Because, why? Because when you use that, you are going to apply the same thing across all the rows that you have in the data. For example, now I want to get total of, maybe I want to calculate two columns. I want to calculate the, let's say I want to multiply two columns, or I want to add two columns, or I want to divide two columns. Then I want to apply it across all the rows that I have. So I used that way to create that in Power BI. And whenever I want to get an aggregation or a result on a specific data that I don't want to apply it across all my rows, then I use another method, not the column method. I use what they call measure in Power BI to do such calculation. For example, I want to know the total amount of salary. So that total amount of salary, I want to get the range of the salary. Then I want to know the total. So I will just apply it under the calculation using what they call measures. So these are the two ways you calculate or you apply DAX in in Power BI. So please let me just refresh it again. Way of doing it when you have a columns is different from way of doing it when you are not going to apply it within all the columns. So that's the two things related to this DAX. Please take note on that and understand it. And also, like I said, this DAX, all what you learn in formula and functions in Excel, you can apply it in this DAX. So when we started creating the DAX today, you are going to see when I apply the formula, exactly, you will just start recalling that what we did in in Excel. The only difference is in Excel, we say maybe C2 or C3, but here we are not going to say that. We are going to say something else. I'm going to talk about how you are going to write that. But now I'm trying to tell you that there is comparison between the two. So all the calculations that we did, simple arithmetics, comparison operators, logical operators, all the operators that we did in Excel, we are going to do the same operators also in Power BI to do the calculation, because DAX is just the data analysis expression, is a method, is a way of writing, all the functions or formula in Power BI. Another thing that I'm going to explain, like I said, in Excel, we use cell designation to write the formula or function in Excel. For example, equals to sum, open bracket, C2, like that. In Power BI, we are not going to do that. In Power BI, what we are going to do is that we are going to say, first of all, we are starting with the name of the column that we want to create, followed by equal sign. Then we write the name of the data that we want, or we write the name of the function that we want to apply after equal sign. We write the name of the function that we want to apply. If it is sum, we write sum. If it is average, we write average. If it is count, we write count. If it is count A, we write count A. So after that, then we open our bracket. I'm just explaining how to write all this. Please understand we are going to practice it together. Then we open our bracket and we put a curly bracket. First of all, the first bracket that I said is just a parenthesis. You open the parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis, you put the curly bracket and you write the name of the file that you upload. That is the name of the database that you upload. So this database that we upload, as you can see, we have data. That's the name of it. So if I want to call it, then I write data followed by the name of the column that I want to calculate. So when I say data, then maybe I want to calculate column of number of service, then I say dot name of the column, data dot name of the column. That's how you put the expression in Power BI. So the only difference is that, like I told you, is this curly bracket that you are going to use, and also the name of the database dot the name of the column. But in Excel, we only use the name of the cells or the range of the cells. So that's the difference, and that's what I want you to understand. So now we are going to start creating the DAX formula, or we are going to start creating DAX in Power BI using the column. That is, we are going to create separate columns and create that particular DAX formula there, and we are going to see that. So that's what we are going to start, and let's just, let me show you how to do that. So now, first of all, this is our data. You see, this is the data that we have. This is the data that we have. You already know that. This is the data that we have. And there are ways that you can do this, but you can just click here. Let's just apply it under here. So when you click here, you click on this table view. When you click this table view, you can click on new column. Click on new column. So now we are going to, like I told you, we are going to use all such, let's start with the simple arithmetics. Let's just start with that. So we just click on this new column. So let's wait until it's finished loading. I'll show you what it will show, because it will show you where to write the query that you want to execute. So look at it here. They say column equals to, it means the name of the column that I created is just give it the name column. And look at it here, is here, it call it column. So now what we are going to do now is, under this particular column, we are going to write an expression. First of all, like I told you, we are going to write the name of the column. Let's say, first of all, the first thing we want to do is that we want to multiply number of services times the price. So number of services times the price per service is what will give us the total revenue generated. So that's what we want to do. So what we are going to do is that we are going to say total underscore revenue equals to, so I want to write it. It means the name of the column that I want to create name, I want to give it the name of revenue. Please understand that. What we want to do is, okay, let's say we want to, let's just do something. Then we are going to do the simple arithmetics. Let's start with maybe, let's say, because I want to divide something. When I divide it, then I want to do all. Okay, let's do the multiplication later on. Then we do all the sum, the division, the multiplication, and the rest. So let's start with this multiplication. That since I already said that we want to multiply number of services times number of price per service. So let's do that. So we are going to say equals to, then what we need to do is that we need to call these two tables. So we are going to say data. You see, that's the name of it. We are just going to say, because there is no function multiply. We don't have function multiply. So what we are going to do, we are going to say data dot, that's number of services, then multiply by data number price per service. Hello, please, can you hear me? I'm sorry, my network just shake up. I don't even know what happened. I lost everyone. I lost you all. Please, can you hear me? Okay, let me share my screen back again. I even execute the query I wrote. So it's that when I realized that we are not together at all. So look at it. When I just click here, I'm sorry. Like I told you, when you create this, you say data, then you open this curly bracket now and put this. Look at how it works. So now when you press enter, it's going to create this total revenue for you. And what it did for you, it's going to create it and multiply everything in this. You see, it just apply across all the data that we have. So now that's for number one. Let's just say we got this. Don't worry, I'm going to create another one. So let's just create a new column again. So I'm going to say new column. So now what we are going to do, we are going to divide the, let's say the total revenue, we want to divide it by 4. That's what we want to divide it. We are going to divide it by 4. So let me just call the column divide, or let's divide it by 2. Divide by 2. So I will say equals to, then I'll call the total revenue. So I'm going to say data. So when you say data, you can just open the curly bracket and write it. So this is the revenue that we created. Revenue divided by, let's say 2. So now let's press enter. And it's going to divide that total revenue that we have. It's going to divide it by 2 for us. So you see, it divide it by 2. If we want to divide it maybe by number of service, then we just divide it by number of service. Then we call data divided by number of service, and we press enter. And of course, it divided by number of service for us again. Look at it. This is what it did for us. Please understand all this is very easy. The only difference I told you is just writing this, and that's what you didn't do. So the next thing we are going to do is, for example, maybe we want to add 2 or more columns. All this I told you is the writing of expression in DAX that has to do with you applying everything across the across the tables. But if you are going to do anything that is not going to be across all the tables, you don't need this. you don't need this, you are going to use major in order for you to create that. But if it is going to be applied across all the tables, then definitely you are going to use DAX. Or you are going to use this column. Okay, so now let's do the after division, maybe the plus sign, we want to add them. So let's just create another column. Just click on create column. I just want to see, for example, subtotal. Let me just call it that. I just want to add this divide by 2 plus price per service. That's what I want to do. So I'm just going to say this divide by 2 plus price per service. Then I'll press enter. So you see it did the same for us. All this that we are creating, look at them here. We are just creating them here. We are just doing all this total here. Look at this subtotal, divide by 2, total revenue. All this we are creating them as a what? As new columns in our data. And that's what we are doing. Please, if you didn't understand, you talk, because it's not something difficult, but I want you to understand how to write all this, because you can do a lot. You can continue writing different things in this. Please, if you have a question, you ask your question before we continue. Please, if you have a question, you ask. Okay. So since you don't have any question, and we did this simple this arithmetics with you. So what we are going to do is I'm going to apply other functions since we are talking about this column before we move, because other functions that has to do with what did I say, the major created them, maybe some. If you want to apply maybe some function, then definitely we need to okay, but if we want to get maybe grand total of all this, we can do that for sum. So let me just apply the function of sum. So now we are done with these operators. Let me do the function of sum. Let me just call it, let me create new column and call it grand total, because I want us to apply most of the functions that we did. I want us to apply them, that has to do with us applying them across all the column. I want us to treat all those functions all today, so that maybe tomorrow we'll apply the majors together and do them, because majors are separate, are all separate formula. Maybe you want to know the total sum, maybe you want to know the average, maybe you want to know the count A, count all, count blank. If we have that, all such functions, we want to treat them different in majors, and we are going to see them. So let me just apply this and call it grand total is equals to, I want to apply the sum function, because we want to know the grand total of all this data that we have. So I want to say this grand total, I want to say, since I say sum and I open bracket, I want to say this total revenue. I just want to say it. So I want to say this total revenue, comma, again, I want to add another one. This total revenue plus this divide by 2 plus which one? Plus subtotal, then which one? That's all. Then I'll close my bracket and I press enter. So that's what I want to create in what? In my grand total. Okay, let me see if I didn't make mistake in this. If you made mistake, it's going to show error for you. You are not going to see the entire data. So it will say that you made a mistake in it. It will show error for you. So yeah, I have to close this one. Then I have to open this. I have to close this, open this, and then yeah, I have to close this too. So let's see. Okay, yeah, if we want to get that, sorry, for this sum function is only, we can only use this sum function when we are calculating only one. Please, I'm sorry, we cannot do it like this. Is when we want to add these two tables, the way we did it in that plus sign operator, that's how we apply it. Maybe we put plus, we put plus, and we match them together. But if we want to do it like this, if we say we want to get the sum, then it's going to get the sum of all this for us. And even if we apply this sum, it's not going, we are not going to see this because it is only for major and we cannot see it. You see, it will apply across all this. This is the total revenue. So it apply across all the column. You see, this 141 million and whatever is going to apply across all of them because that's the total of all this revenue that was generated. So that's why I said you cannot do it that way. So let me just continue and do something else that maybe has to do with other functions. You see, we have functions that has to do with um what am I thinking? Let's just use upper. I show you how to use upper, lower, proper. I just show you how to do that in Power Query, but let me show you how to write that in in this. Let me just show you how to write that. So let me just say let me call it this column, I'm sorry. Let me call it department 2 equals to, then we say upper. That's the name of the function. Then I will write the name of the department because look at the department, the characters are in lower cases. Maybe I want to make it upper, so I'll say data.department. Then I will close my bracket and I will press enter. So it will turn it to upper and it's going to be upper cases. You see, we create this new column with what? Data science, data science, data science, data science. And if you want it in proper, sorry, you just say proper. Okay, sorry. I think it doesn't have proper, but it has lower like SQL. There is no proper. So you see, it will turn it to this. You see, it's all in this. So this is another thing that you will learn you learn today. So please take note on that. So let me see what function again that I think is okay for us to treat that has to do with us applying it across all this. Please let me just think which one. Yeah, please, if you have a question, you can ask your question. I'm just thinking if there is any that maybe we can apply it across. If you have a question, please ask. I'm thinking because is there anything that we can? No, we can. It's blank. Is on is in row, not in this. It's not vertical per column. It's not in row like that. It's just in a particular this. No, not is blank. Please, if you have anything, you ask. I'm just thinking if there is anything we can use. Please, you ask. You ask. I'm just. I don't know. Which one do we forget to do, please? What do we apply? We did all this simple arithmetic. What else? We cannot apply. Uh, Look at somebody that is asking me this question. How can you get grand total in the same column, not a new column? Please, this question, how are you going to get grand total in the same column, not a new column? Let me ask you this question, Kaima. Let me ask you this question. How are you going to get that? Please, how? My question is yeah, yeah. Someone say percentage. Yes, yes, yes. Percentage, percentage. Yes, percentage. So let's apply percentage. I think let's apply percentage. Let's apply percentage. Okay. Thank you for that, Abra. But someone is saying in how are we going to apply that as we did in this column? I show you how to do that in our previous class in Power Query. I show you how to do that. So when you go back to Power Query, you can do that upper and change it to wherever you want to. I'll show you how to do that. But now we are in DAX. So in DAX, you are writing formula like in Excel. How can you apply a formula within the same cell? Like this, someone that is asking me, how can you get grand total in the same cell? How are you going to get grand total in the same cell? So what are you calculating? Where are the figures you are calculating? I don't even know how somebody just will come and ask this question. So let's do the percentage. Let's get the percentage. But before the percentage, okay, so we have the total revenue, but before that, we need to get the sum of the total revenue. That's what we need to get. But that will be much if we say we need to do that. Okay, let's just do that. Let me just say percentage, but let's get the sum of the total revenue. So I'll call it grand total. Okay, grand total equals to, then we are going to say sum, open bracket, data, and let's say total revenue. So now we want to just get percentage. I know the percentage is going to be something else. It's going to be something else. Someone is even asking me, how are we going to rename a new column? Yeah, if you want to rename a new column without passing anything, just when you create it, in Power BI is not like what can I say? Just click on it. For example, when you click on it, look at it. If you don't want to put it in expression, click on it. You see it here, name. Change it from here. If I click on this department, I can change the name from here. I can change it department one. Then I update the name. Then you press enter. So now it's going to load and it's going to change to department one. Okay. So now let's get the percentage. So let me create the column for that percentage. So we are going to call it percentage is equals to. So how do we get it? A specific divided by total. We already know that. So I'm going to say total revenue. Total revenue. Where is total revenue? Divided by grand total. Where is my grand total? Multiply by, or we can just leave it like that. So let's just click enter. Hello, please, sorry, can you hear me? My network is very bad, seriously. My network is even breaking. Like, I know you cannot hear. Please, let's save this. Let's stop here, please. Practice this. After the naming department is broken, please, can we stop here? After this, maybe tomorrow. But I show you how to do that. Let me just say it. You just see this. I just express it. Look at it. When we multiply this, you just see, we just did it like this. That's it. So this is the format. When you want, you can just turn it to percentage. That is the format of it. So when we click on under this format, we turn it to percentage. You see everything turned into percentage. I believe you see how you can do that, but let me delete it and apply it again so that you can see how I did it, so that somebody will not say we did something. Let me just create a new one, or let me just get rid of it. Since we have how many minutes left? We have some few minutes, like 2 minutes to go. So let me delete this percentage and do it again very fast so that you can see how I got the percentage. Let me just delete it very fast. Okay, let me do it very fast, please. I'm sorry, so that you can see, because even though I'm recording, so you can watch it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, let me delete this table. I just come to this table and create something. So I want to be fast, it's not responding. I'm sorry. New column. So under this new column, I'm going to call it percentage equals to, we are going to say total revenue. So then we are going to say total revenue divided by grand total, because already you know what formula, percentage formula is all about. So I don't want to waste my time on that. You all know that. Then you press enter. Immediately you press enter, it's going to create all these 000 for you. Just come to this format like Excel. Just click on this format and turn it to percentage. Everything will turn to percentage, and look at it. If you want to increase the decimal places, you can increase them. If you want to decrease them, then you can decrease them like this. So it's very simple and it's very easy. It's not something that big. So please, if you have a question, you ask your question. My network is very bad. And like I told you, if you want to edit any column, just click on the column, and from here you